What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Rochelle and I'm back with another video. Thank you guys for tuning in, liking, sharing, and subscribing. You guys are thebomb.com. Now in today's video, I am coming in hot with video 3 of our 2022 Savings Challenge Prepper series. That's right, we're going to do all we can to get our mind and money right so that we can win with our money and save the most money we ever have. Now if that's something you'd be into, then stick around. Now if you want to check in with some of the other content that I've already posted earlier this month, feel free to check it out here, Eye in the Sky. We have already done our financial goal setting for the year 2022, and we have also set up our cash envelopes and our savings challenges so that we are ready to stuff some cash. Now in today's video, let's talk about budgeting for savings challenges, and I'm going to share with you 3 different ways to budget your money by pay period. We're going to be using mock budgets so that we can budget by pay period on a weekly, bi-weekly, and monthly basis, and I'm even going to share some tips on how to budget and save more money even when it feels like you don't have enough. Okay, so we're going to be starting with a weekly budget of $500 for one person, and this is a modest budget. Just remember, budgets are made to be changed. They're personal, and if you aren't happy with the amount of money you are bringing in on a weekly basis, definitely consider some side hustles or a new career path. Check out my videos where I go into more detail about how I make money using side hustles. And let's always be respectful, because it's not our business about how much somebody brings in, but I love looking at the numbers, running them, playing around with them, because you can definitely stretch your dollars if you are willing to put in a little bit of work. Now, for the year 2020, the national average was about $1,000 a week per household. It did not state how many people that would include, and you know, things are different based on where you live, location, but I tried to make it as simple as possible. So for this week, we are going to set aside $25 for savings, and if we do that every week, that will give us a total of $100 every month to savings. Next is debt. Debt is going to get $25 every week also, and that means we'll be able to contribute $100 towards debt every month. Next is rent. We're going to contribute $200 per week so that we can have a total of $800 at the end of the month to pay rent. Food is going to get $50 for a total of $200 per month. Gas is going to get $30 per week for a total of $120 per month. Bills, $150, and that's a total of $600 per month towards bills. And then spending. Spending is miscellaneous, giving, whatever you want to use it for, $20 a week, and that totals $80 per month. So if you add all of that up, that equals $500 a week or $2,000 per month for a 4-week month. Now, some things to consider: you definitely could contribute more towards food, spend less on gas. This is why it's important to revisit your bills, because sometimes bills creep in, especially if you have monthly subscriptions and streaming services. And Micah was just telling me about Grammarly, which is, you know, an app that helps spell check your work and proofread and make sure you're sounding good, gives you the proper words, however it works. And he used to use Grammarly all the time back in the day. Now it is like $30 a month. I'm like, what? For words? So, you know, we definitely want to be conscious of what we're spending our money on. If you choose to pay these subscriptions, definitely just make sure you're using them. I am always downgrading our subscription services. Like I just downgraded our Netflix 2 months ago to regular viewing. It's not HD, and nobody in the house noticed for 2 months. And so I saved what, $20-$30 for 2 or 3 months of Netflix, basic Netflix. I just ramped it back up to, you know, HD because Micah was having a fit once he realized. But it just goes to show you that, you know, you may not be using these services as often as you think you are. Okay, so now it's time for my life hack. What I like to do is add up all the money that I have spent and add up all of the money that I have left over every week. If this was me and my budget, I would try to squeeze $1 here, $3 there, and save all of my coins, because coins add up, y'all. I'm telling you, put some respect on those quarters, dimes, nickels, and pennies. They can really be a game changer. And so if let's just say at the end of the week, we had a total of $25 we were able to save somehow. So we squeezed it from all of these categories. Maybe we called our phone company and we said, you know what can you do for me? My bill is high and I don't like it. And they offered you a new plan. Or maybe you called your Wi-Fi cable company, same thing. And so those little things add up to big dollars. So maybe you were able to contribute an extra $25 towards savings. That would instantly bump you up to $50 for the week. That frees you up to do even more savings challenges, or maybe you just want to stick to one savings challenge and contribute an additional $25 to that one savings challenge. I find that less is more. I know we see a lot of us doing multiple savings challenges at the same time, but one is definitely enough. A savings challenge, I mean, especially if you're doing a long-term savings challenge, I would definitely stick to just one savings challenge when you're just starting out in this budgeting journey, because it does get kind of hard. And so this will be a good time to think about what side hustles you could try. There's some side hustles where you don't even have to leave your couch. We can do surveys, we can donate things, we can sell things. Look for opportunities to monetize your time. Okay, so now I'm back with a budget that would work for two categories, two different scenarios. One, if you're paid bi-weekly every 2 weeks, which does equal an extra paycheck, I think once or twice a year, or maybe you're paid twice a month, maybe on the 15th and the 30th, the 1st and the 10th, the 1st and the 15th. Those people have a special scenario, and so they have to pay a special amount of attention to their money because it has to stretch until the next payday. So first we're going to dive in with our categories. First up is giving, which would get $100, but instead of taking the money and dividing it 50-50, we're going to not take any of the money from our first paycheck. We're going to take all $100 from the second paycheck. I forgot to tell you, we're working with a budget of $3,000, and this is for either one person or one household. You can figure it out. We're just making up stuff as we go. We're just trying things based on national statistics. So then next up is savings. This would give you the opportunity to save up to $200 for the month. Same thing, not from the first paycheck, it's from the second one. Next up is debt. Debt, $300, definitely going towards debt. Nothing from the first paycheck, all $300 from the second paycheck. Rent, this is where you have to make sure you have your ducks in a row. Say you are not 1 month ahead on your bills. You're living paycheck to paycheck. Then we're going to split the rent right down the middle to make sure we have enough to live off of, but we're going to contribute $500 from each paycheck. Next is food, which is going to get $300. I like to spend most of the food money at the beginning of the month. That way you have enough to live off of and eat, and not feel like you have to scrounge around for things all because you couldn't afford an extra $50 in groceries or so. So we're gonna put $200 to the side for food from the first paycheck and $100 to re-up on anything that we run out of in our pantry or fridge or freezer for the second check. So $100 on the second check. Next up is gas. Gas, we're going to split right down the middle. We're going to do $200, $100 from each paycheck because gas is off the hook. I do feel like it's finally starting to not increase as quickly, at least here. Let me know in the comments, is gas real out of pocket where you guys are still? So, and just remember, look for ways to save money on gas. I know that I used to use the Waze app, and I would do a search for gas, and it would show me all my nearby gas stations, and I would sort them or scroll through them until I found the cheapest one that was still like a quality brand like Exxon, Shell, whatever. But I would go to the one that was a little bit further away, and that would save me like dollars. It would really add up, and it would just be because they would charge less because they knew people had to drive further to get to them, and the ones that were closer in town could charge whatever they wanted because they knew people were going to pay it. So it's something as simple as that could save you some money. Imagine if you just saved $1 on your gas bill for the entire year. You'd probably save at least $12 to $15, and you could be using that to throw at debt or throw into savings. I like to do things like this, and it just feels normal to me, so it doesn't feel like work if I have to drive a little further or get up a little earlier to move the car a little further. But, also take into consideration that you're driving further to get to that gas station. Okay, next up is bills. I really went heavy on the bills. I put $800 to the side for bills for the month. $600 will come from paycheck one, $200 from the second paycheck. And this is where you really can look for opportunities to look for either a roommate, look for deals, look for side hustles, look for specials. A lot of companies at the beginning of the new year will offer deals for the new year. Definitely hop on some of those. Next up is spending $100. We're going to take that right off the bat, off the top, because I like to save and pay ourselves first. You work hard, you should be able to have money to pull from and have what I like to call walking around money. This keeps you feeling like a human. You don't want to walk around all month broke, not having any money. You might see something you like, something that's on sale. It gives you the opportunity and the freedom to say yes or say no to your spending and to things that you might find along the way. I know sometimes I'll see a deal in the store and I'll decide to use my personal money to beef up our pantry, and then I'll pay myself back from the grocery money later in the month or later in the year. I just find that doing that, following the deals, it really helps to keep our budget intact. So that is my plan for people who are paid twice a month, either on a bi-weekly or a twice a month scale. I do want to take a minute to remind you guys that we do have a savings challenge Facebook group. So if you are interested in joining a community of savers, definitely hit the link in the video description below so that you guys can be in good company, as they say, so that we can save these dollars together. I share tips on maybe twice or 3 times a month on the importance of saving and what ideas I have found that actually work for me in my personal life, like eBay and other things. And it gives other people the opportunity to ask questions, and it's free 99. So if you want to join, definitely do that. Also check out my website, RochelleAdamson.com/resources, where I have a list of all of the savings challenges in case you have any questions about the rules. If you don't see the 2022 savings challenge you're looking for yet, don't worry, it will be there next month. I still want to finish out the year strong with some of the savings challenges that a lot of us are still working on, like the Keep the Change challenge. Some people are doing the Zero Out challenge still, all of that good stuff. I also want to just let you guys know that these budgets are definitely something that you could try and do with inconsistent or variable income, especially if you tend to live from one inconsistent income to the next. My goal is to always front load the bills, pay myself some money, and give myself a little bit of savings. I tend to use the second check in the month or third check in the month to pay off debt. I know I am on a mortgage payoff journey, and so I have been coming in hot with weekly updates, but back before this mortgage payoff journey, I would make sure our 4 walls were covered. Make sure you have food, gas, your bills are paid, you have a home, all that good stuff, and then work on knocking out your debt and building your savings. Okay, so now let's talk about our monthly budget. It is a modest budget of $1,500. I like to use numbers that were kind of all over the place. That way everybody could kind of get something from this content. So first off, we're going to start off with rent, which is going to be $600. Now, since you are paid every month, we have to pay these bills up front. So right off the bat, $600 is going to rent. Next up is food. We're going to do another $200 divided by 4. That is going to give us $50. I will try and find the footage from one of my recent TikToks I did, because people were, you got the naysayers that say it can't be done, $50 on a budget for groceries for one person. And I had to go to Walmart's app and prove them wrong, right? Come on, Walmart comes all the way through. And if it goes over by a little, it's still giving you a good amount of food. And one thing that I have done is I got on with this challenge where you avoided name brands for a month just to see if it made a difference in your grocery bill. And y'all, it really does make a difference. The food does taste different, but if you're sacrificing for to reach a goal, then it might be worth it to you. So I did switch to all Great Value products for most of my products for a good while. The other thing I did, if I didn't like the store brand version, I would look up DIY projects where I could make some of these items that I needed on hand myself. And so I keep things like baking soda, vinegar, all types of things, sugar, that type of stuff in bulk, so that we can DIY, make our own soaps, our own body scrubs, our own shea butters. And so that is why Eva is so into that type of stuff. We can do our own lip gloss. We're working on a lip balm. We're just trying different things because, we don't have to worry about the ingredients and preservatives and all that chemicals and all that other stuff. And it's all natural. So definitely, go that wave if you are not really into Great Value. And no shade to Great Value. That's just the store brand that's popping in my head right now. Next up is gas. which is going to get $100 split 4 ways. So that would be $25 a week. That might not be enough. You want to take from another category, definitely do that. Bills $300, savings $100, spending and give $100, and debt $100. So I put down some ideas on where you can shop for, decently priced food. It might not be the healthiest food. It might not be, good quality, but when you're just in a tight space, I know I would shop in bulk at the beginning of the month. This is still my habit. I tend to go to Sam's Club or Costco at the beginning of the month and then fill in the gaps with some cheaper items or things that I can make myself from scratch. And so I would always head to places like Walmart, grocery outlets, and Aldi first, and then I would head to the expensive grocery stores like Safeway, Giant, and all that type of stuff. I'm from the East Coast, y'all, so that's why I'm naming stores off the dome like that. But find a will, find a way. Talk to others in your community. Talk to people in the comments. Share your ideas, guys. How do you keep your budget bill down for food? I'm a work in progress. I still spend a lot of money on takeout and on, groceries overall, but we have gotten better. We are definitely moving that needle down. Next up is bills. Like I said, call to ask for deals, but definitely for sure, ask if your due dates can be changed to the 28th of the month. This helps so that you have 27 days every month to come up with the money. It just gives you more opportunity to save. Not to say you have to wait until the 28th of the month to pay your bills. You could go ahead and pay them on the 1st if you had the money, but it just gives you that space and that time so that you don't incur a past due fee or a late fee for no reason, which will always throw your budget off, especially if you're in a game where you're trying to improve your credit score. Little life hacks like that really do help. Then for rent, it's crazy. Technically, only 25% of your income is supposed to go to housing, per the Dave Ramsey way and everybody else in the finance world, 25 to 30%. And so that's only about $375 to $400 a month, which is unheard of, I feel like, in the world that we're living in now. So I bumped it up to 600 just because I feel like this is more of people's reality, and even 600 feels too low. But there are options. Of course, you can move in with family and temporarily save up for a home. You could consider a roommate. You definitely just think about some ideas. Start really being real with yourself. And of course, you could choose to increase your income so that you can keep your peace and live alone, continue to live alone or with your one family and not have to move in with another family. I am always revisiting those type of things because I feel like, you can be a victim of lifestyle inflation creep. I don't know I forget the term. I saw somebody's video and I was like, ooh. And it basically just meant that because you were in a good scenario, maybe you just got a raise or maybe you just paid something off and you have more freed up money, you have found a way to spend that money every month on things that you don't really need or and so it's your job every month to just take a peek. It doesn't have to take a long time, just a few minutes. Peek at that budget and see what you can tweak. Okay, then side hustles. Definitely Instacart, definitely Fetch, definitely YouTube, definitely Etsy. Drop shipping is another goody gumdrop. I love Instacart because it is good for people who already have a car that's sitting. And so it's like, okay, I can monetize my car. I've even seen people on different social media platforms who are wrapping their cars and they are getting paid for advertising. So, they work with companies to slap pizza stickers or wrap their car professionally, and it doesn't, mess up your car or anything like that. They're making money. They're making it do what it do. And so that's one option. Fetch, you could do this on your couch. You just bring home those receipts, spread the word about Fetch, and gain you some gift cards. And I used to only cash out for gift cards that were like Amazon or Visa, but I have now gotten to the point where I am working on Southwest for our next travel. And so I'm trying to build up enough flights where I can enough gift cards where I can at least pay for Eva's flights, her Southwest flights. That would be so clutch, because I don't know what it is when you go to buy 2 tickets and it jumps to you need for 3 tickets, that price just jumps disrespectfully. So I'm gonna see if that helps. Of course, I recommend YouTube. Now YouTube is some work and you don't get paid right away. I am dropping a budget tuber crash course. Boom. This weekend. You're watching this video when? On the Sunday, the 26th? Yep. Check out my website, RochelleAdamson.com/budgettuber. I am coming in hot with a video course that is going to share tips and tricks on how you can grow your channel to monetization. Of course, I'm focusing on the budgeting community because I feel like we are a really specific niche. And when it comes down to, when I look at a lot of videos where I'm learning how to do things on YouTube and seeing what works for my channel, I notice that a lot of the tips that they're giving don't really include budget channels. I feel like we are a special beast. So definitely check out my website where I share more info and dive into the analytics, YouTube Studio, revenue, views, watch time, subscribers, and the mental behind it, the planning, the prep work, how to do it on a budget. And I just share a lot of key information that has helped me over the years. I just hit my 10-year anniversary on YouTube. Like, that is crazy to even say. I've been on YouTube since 2011. So I definitely have seen a lot. And so I'm having an intro weekend special just for this weekend, $25. You can grab this course. You can listen and watch it as much as you want. It comes with a workbook to help guide you through the process and keep all your ideas organized. I'm excited about it. It's something that I've actually been working on for a very long time. And you know me, I can't just do one thing. So I'm like, okay, let me, just make a quick video. So I did do a video and a workspace collab with Chrissy here on YouTube, The Mom Life, series of channels all contributed. And in that second piece of the video, I shared some tips and tricks. And so I got, DMs, emails, chats, and comments all asking for more information on that. So I have been working on this since that video. And I do have something bigger in play that I am working on with a team. But for now, this is going to get you started. It's going to get you good. Okay, so this is a surprise budget that I just happened to just pop on the scene. I did this on a TikTok recently, and I just thought it was so interesting. What would you do if you were only paid once a year? I'm coming with an annual budget. I'm talking about, did you know there are some career paths that only get paid once or twice a year? I actually have a friend IRL in real life who she served on as a senior partner for a law firm. And she actually said something in passing to me one day and was like, I'm like, oh girl, I can't wait for payday. I said, I bet your paydays are lit. And she was like, they're lit. They're very lit. She said something to the effect of, my paydays are amazing, but they don't happen but once a year. And I said, huh? And she proceeded to go into more detail about her, how things were for her. And, it was just a game changer for me. I just thought it was really cool. So basically, if you have someone who is taking home 6-figure income, this is what I would do with it. Say they make $100,000 and, per household. We're not going to say how many people are living there, just period. We're just going to keep it simple. I would put $15,000 to the side for savings, $5,000 to the side for sinking funds. Debt would get $10,000, giving would get $5,000, mortgage/rent would get $24,000, bills would get $25,000, food would get $8,400, gas would get $2,600, and spending would get $5,000. If you add all of that up, it totals $100,000. And if you divide all of those numbers by 12, here's what you get. Savings would get $1,250 roundabout. Sinking funds would get $417 per month. Debt would get $833. Giving would get $417. Mortgage or rent would get $2,000 a month. Bills would get $2,083. Food would get about $600. Gas would get $200. And spending again would get about $417. So I just love looking at the numbers and the what ifs. And I feel that, if you're not someone who is making a 6-figure income yet, it doesn't mean you can't start practicing and working the numbers so that you can feel comfortable when that money comes. Because this is why, most of the people who are well off in the world usually end up broke or, spending their money as soon as it comes through the door. It's because they weren't budgeting when they were making less. So build the habits now, flex the muscle now, grow it, and put some respect on that budget. I also listed some opportunities in case, because I just thought this was also interesting. For some people who have ever thought about different career paths that make $500,000 or more. They have the potential, the opportunity to. So not everyone in that career path is making this money, but there are some who do. And like I said, I have a friend who worked as a senior partner at a law firm. She's on to bigger endeavors now, dare I say. It's just crazy. And definitely was a $500,000. Then you of course have some film actors who are making it. but they might only be working on a contractual basis, so they don't see their money all the time, or maybe it just depends on what things they have worked out in their contract. But imagine having to make your money last for 6 months, make your money last for 1 year. And it's not surprising that the world is just a big old globe full of debt right now, so if we are intentional with what we're doing, it hopefully will set us up for success. Then you have authors. I have a few friends who are authors, and they passively pull really good money because they're putting out quality content. You have entrepreneurs. There's no ceiling on this, okay? If you're someone who is self-employed, you are building your own brand, you are doing your own thing, there is no limit to what you can achieve. Then you have accountants. I have family members who are accountants, and they make out like bandits. Insurance agents. Okay. Enough said. I'm not even going to go there because I get a little flustered when I talk about insurance. Then you have engineers, which is pretty much what Micah does. Like, he's pretty much an electrical engineer. Then you have pro athletes, CEOs, real estate developers, hedge fund managers, investment bankers, and anesthesiologists. Notice they didn't say doctors. I'm telling you, I will never forget when I was pregnant with my daughter and I went in that hospital and everybody was getting set up, making sure I'm good. I just got checked in. I'm definitely in labor. And that anesthesiologist walked in with his own team and was like, I am here to set you up and make sure you're good. Like, when I tell you, he was his own entity, and he told me, he sat there and explained how it was going to work and what would be covered by insurance and what wouldn't. And he was like, this is what you can expect to receive as far as a bill. You're going to receive a separate bill from me in my office, nothing to do with your hospital bills. And like clockwork, that man's bill came in like maybe 2-3 weeks after I gave birth to Eva. And y'all, I paid that bill so quick. It wasn't that much, but I said, oh my goodness, anesthesiologists, come through. Like, I understand they are under a lot of stress. Can you imagine getting it wrong being an anesthesiologist? Like, they have to be heavily insured, just like other medical people in the medical profession. But it's just crazy to even think of the potential, the income growth that can happen being an anesthesiologist. I had a coworker I used to work with. Her daughter was going through all the things to become an anesthesiologist, and I worked with that coworker for over 10 years, and so they were still in school that entire time, or at least in the internship and all that type stuff. And I'm like, this is big. This has got to be big. It's got to be big. Let me know in the comments, do you know anyone who is making 6-figure income that lives like a regular life? The face of millionaires is changing, y'all. It's not just these big CEOs and these big corporations. It's people who are dressed in jeans and t-shirts and sneakers now. So you might be surprised the information that you can learn from people like that. Well, that's all for today's video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to stay tuned into our 2022 savings challenges, our prepper series, and next video, we are going to be talking about side hustles. We're going to talk about what to do when you don't have enough money for savings challenges. And I'm going to be coming in with 3 side hustles that I think could work for 3 different scenarios. So if you are someone that can't leave your home, maybe you have to provide for your family, take care of your family at home, I have a side hustle for you. If you are someone who works a full-time job and you don't have time to go to another job to make extra money, I have a side hustle for you. And then I have a wild card. That's what we're going to call it. This is a side hustle that if you put in the work, you could see some big dollars. But anyway, I'll see you guys then in the next video. Until then, peace, love, and budgets.